Hi friends, happy Sunday. Welcome to another Sunday with Sarah. I'm Sarah Baldwin. I'm a Waldorf teacher, an author, and the owner of Bella Luna Toys. And I'm back with you today to answer a couple of questions from a viewer about traveling with children and another question about organizing one's art supplies. But before I get into the question and my responses, I just want to ask you, if you are enjoying this video series and you haven't already, please subscribe to the Sunday with Sarah YouTube channel by clicking the link below. And if you click on the little bell icon, you'll be notified every time I post a new video. And if you find this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up. But let me read you today's first question from Jane. She wrote, "We're likely going to have some extended travel later this year. Do you have any suggestions for keeping a strong rhythm even while traveling, or suggestions for keeping the family flexible when everything else is a bit different? Our bedtime routine is an easy one to keep consistent, but all the rest can be very different while we're traveling." Well, it's so true. As I record this, it's summertime and a lot of families are getting ready to head off on vacations. So it's a great question because it tells me that you are thinking ahead and recognize the importance of rhythm and consistency for a young child. So a few of my suggestions would be, it's great you're keeping a consistent bedtime. That would be my very first suggestion. This can be a challenge if you're changing time zones. But as soon as you get to the new time zone, try to get on that new time as quickly as possible. And you can also try to keep meal times, snack times, nap times consistent. If you're out and about and sightseeing, sometimes it takes a little effort to think, when would we be normally having a snack at home? Keeping your child well hydrated and well fed so she's not too hungry, thirsty, or tired will make your traveling a lot more enjoyable for everyone. Another suggestion would be to bring along your child's favorite lovey doll or favorite stuffed animal. Having a familiar, comforting companion while your child is in an unfamiliar place can also bring a lot of comfort to a child. Also pack snacks and food that you know your child enjoys for the car or the plane ride, or even when you get to where you're going. If you're eating out a lot, and if you're in a different country where the food might be familiar, thinking ahead and packing familiar foods can help a lot too. And finally, and maybe most importantly, don't skip naps. And even for an older child who maybe doesn't take a nap anymore, everyone can benefit from a nap in a family. Even older teenagers and adults, you'll feel more refreshed and less stressed after a busy morning of sightseeing with an afternoon nap. So it's a great question, Jane. Thanks for that. Let me get to your second question. So Jane's second question is about art supplies. She writes, "How do you suggest storing art supplies for a preschooler? What are good supplies to have on hand? We currently keep a high-quality spiral sketch pad, scissors, and colored pencils out on his play table, but the rest, paints, glues, special scissors, stamps, yarn, felt, colored paper, etc., is stored between the mudroom, refrigerator, and a cupboard that my little one can't easily reach on his own. Is there a better way? I'm not wedded to him being fully independent to access everything, but aside from our routine around wet-on-wet watercolor painting, I don't find our artwork setup flows as naturally as it does for, say, baking or cooking activities. What are your thoughts?" Well, Jane, I would, for a preschooler, I would not recommend having all the art supplies available all the time, especially the younger child, especially for a 3 or 4-year-old. there would be a tendency to pull everything out all at once, and it could become very disorganized and messy and even lead to meltdowns. Now, I know there might be some early childhood educators out there who would disagree with me, but as a Waldorf teacher, I would suggest neatly organizing your materials by activity, each one in a separate basket or bin. It could be a plastic tote or basket. So for instance, you might have one container for drawing paper and crayons, another one for sketchbooks and colored pencils, one for modeling beeswax, another for your painting paper and painting supplies. Another one could have scissors and glue and colored paper for making collages. You could have another with felt, colored felt, and little wooden peg doll forms for making peg dolls. For older children, you could have a bin with sewing supplies, with a fabric and scissors, needles and thread, and you could have a knitting basket with yarn and knitting needles. You get the idea. And then I suggest then bringing out one activity at a time that's already organized, has all the materials you'll need for that activity. This comes in especially handy on rainy days or snowy days. And when you're finished, you neatly put those things back in the proper bin and put it away. And then bring out another one on another day. And I would suggest, instead of having your materials scattered in different places in your house, if you have a closet or a cabinet where you could store all those baskets and bins in one place, I think that would also help keep things more neat and organized. But the more you plan ahead, the more organized you are, the more smoothly the activity will go, and the less stress-free it will be. So it's another great question. Thank you so much for writing in, and thanks for watching. And if you have a question for me, please send it to sundaywithsarah@bellalunatoys.com, and I would love to answer your question in a future video. So thanks for watching. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.